all know that our government failed us on all fronts: gas prices, the economy, and our daily lives. Everything is rising in price, while the government gaslights us and tells us that we are wrong. They also said that we should get vaccines, but we do have their top chief of Pfizer admitting that they never went through testing to see if it would, quote, stop the spread. People are done with all of this back and forth, and because of this, the potential for a red wave is among us. I'm Demetrios Araujo, and you are watching the Demetrios Araujo Show.
I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
First, I would like to say happy Halloween to everyone. I'm filming this episode on Halloween. In this year, I dressed up as Scooby-Doo and my parents dressed up as other cast members at work. It was fun. Here's a picture of the great event now. Moving from that, we have to look at our government for an explanation on why we are paying more. They will gaslight us into thinking we are not paying more, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. Let's look at this tweet from the president on October 29th. Said that gas prices are down $1.25, but they sadly think that the general public is stupid. This is a slap in the face from the people that we should look at for help. If we also take a look at the 18-month graph, then we can see that the number that they are saying is from a $5 high, because gas prices are now $3.75. But this $5 gas is crazy. Even at $3.75 is crazy. There are many different reasons why gas prices are that high. The major reasons are in 2015, there was a refinery in Torrance, California that exploded, that never went back to normal. We can also look at the Keystone XL pipeline, which was only 8% complete when Joe Biden made the decision to cancel, which would also mean that it would not have been finished in the time to make a difference in the gas prices. This is according to CBS News. And according to Jen Psaki, the former White House press secretary, gas is still coming in, but in other ways. Yes, this is correct. But we can also look at those quotes other ways. They are way more expensive. Instead of having a pipeline bring it, we are having it delivered on a train in barrels, which makes the elites more money. That is what they want, of course. But moving on from that, we can also shine a light on these environmentalists thinking that they are canceling the pipeline, but they're actually doing the opposite. They're actually, quote, polluting the earth even more by using these trains to bring the oil. Now, without further ado, let's dig into a dozen takes.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love.
Okay, so moving right into our dozen take segment, we have an article from CNN that we're just going to take a look at. So usually CNN covers some stupid stuff, and they have a lot of stupid takes right over at CNN, but we can also see that CNN is covering something that is very, very sad. So in India, a bridge killed 134 people and it was recently repaired, they say. So this is the video right here. I believe this is the video. If not, okay, yeah, we don't want to see CNN. We don't want to give them any money, but I do have the video for us to see right here. So it is actually an Instagram reel and it's very, very horrifying to see actually. So we can actually see it right here. Is there any sound on this video? No, there isn't. Okay. Yeah, there is sound. Okay, so we right here see that the bridge is kind of just like shaking around. For the audio viewers, the bridge is just shaking around and boom, it falls. And they said that, oh, see, the thing is, why was there so many people on the bridge in the very first place? Now, they say that this was captured by CCTV footage, but the problem is, why was there 400 to 500 people, according to Breitbart, on this bridge in the very first place? Why? And they said at least 134 people have been reported dead, with hundreds of others rescued from the river where the bridge collapsed. This bridge was first opened in 1879, and it was since reopened after months of renovations. This is crazy. After renovating the bridge, we still can't have a bridge that holds the amount of people that we have on here. Like, why are we allowing so many people on the bridge at once? And I think that it is pretty good that they arrested the people responsible for this mishap in the very first place. But it's still upsetting that it even happened. Yeah, you can arrest the person, but are we going to get back those 134 lives? No, because you can't have oopsies. I'm sorry. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm going to just go to jail. No, you can't bring back the lives you lost. And it's very, very disappointing that you can't. I wish we could. But moving on from that, we do have this other story from CNN about this transgender woman, which means that they're really a man. And this is actually Kathy Lindecki obliterates short course 1,500 meter freestyle world record. Now, this is a man going up against woman in swimming. So just think about that. Obviously, men are going to outpower women because men are generally more powerful than women. And also at the same exact time, we can just sit here and look at basic biology and say, no, this should not even happen. Why would this ever happen? We can ask a lot of questions, but we can also say there's not enough answers. Why is this even happening? Don't we have chapter 9 in sports? We should uphold chapter 9 in sports. That's exactly why we should have politicians, and we should elect politicians that uphold chapter 9 for what it really is. We cannot let these people come in and ruin women's sports. Where are the feminists now? Where are the feminists complaining about not having equality? This is not equality. Having a man and girl sports is not empowering women at all. It's not even empowering the man. It's telling the man that needs to be a woman that he needs to be a woman to actually be somewhere in life. No, keep practicing. LeBron James wasn't on the basketball team when he was in high school. He kept trying, and he became one of the best basketball players of all time by practicing. He didn't just give up. He didn't turn into a woman just because he couldn't get into the male's basketball team. No, that never happened. And it shouldn't happen for many reasons. And it shouldn't happen now. Now let's move on to the next article we have from MSNBC. So we have the Speaker Pelosi says that she's heartbroken and traumatized in letter to colleagues about husband's attack. So Speaker Nancy Pelosi released a Dear Colleague letter on the life-threatening attack on her husband, Paul Pelosi. In the letter, Pelosi said her and her family heartbroken and traumatized about the attack, and her husband's condition continues to improve thanks to life-saving medical care he's receiving. Yes, it is. And see, this is the thing now. This is the thing. Why are we not going to pay attention to exactly who did this? Why are we not going to pay attention? Now, the mainstream media says that it's a right-wing QAnon supporter that did this. No, it's not. The person actually was living outside of a yellow school bus, which the vice president said, oh my God, I love the yellow school bus. Look it up. So we have Kamala Harris saying that she loves yellow school buses. The guy lived in a yellow school bus, literally turned into a camper. That's where he used to live. And then he had LGBTQ and BLM flags outside. You really think that he's on the right? No, he's a leftist supporting all the leftist ideologies. But just because of the fact that he did something wrong, nope, he can't be a leftist. No, he has to be a racist, white, Donald Trump supporter. No, that's just stupid. No, we can call it how it is. This thing that killed Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, should be arrested, and we should say exactly what it is. This is the thing. If we're going to say here and say there is a problem, then we need to commit to the fact that there is a problem. We can't sit here and say, oh yeah, this is a no, exactly. And there's other things on this too, saying that he's an illegal immigrant and blah blah. Listen, it doesn't matter who he is. If he committed a law, okay, and even if he is here illegally, he should be charged even more. That's just even more disappointing. So neglecting that small thing that I did see. Now, I never fact checked this, so I don't know if it's true or not. If he's illegal, it looks like he was living in the United States, but I don't know if he was legal. The thing is that why are we not going to call it how it is? If people are attacking these elites in their houses, why can we not call it a violent attack? Why can we not say that violent attacks are up? Because the Democrats don't look good in Democrat-run cities. If it's not good for your political gain, you don't want to talk about it. No, we should talk about it regardless, because you're here for the people, by the people. This is exactly what you need to realize. You're not here just for you. You're here for us, the people that pay your bills on an every single day basis. That's the people that you're serving. And this is the exact people that you need to answer to. And this is the exact people that you cannot lie to their face about a situation that happened. If a situation unfolded with a person on the right, don't make it all political. Say, okay, yeah, this person did support this, but did Trump ever call for the attack on Nancy Pelosi? No. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats did literally during 2020 run propaganda campaigns to hurt Republicans. Yes. Rand Paul actually had his neighbor break into his house to break 6 of his ribs. Like, are we not going to talk about that? Are we not going to talk about the blatant one-sided narrative that the media has on us, the people? Are we not going to talk about the fact that they won't talk about these right-wing situations just because it does not do any good for them? Just because it doesn't do any good for you doesn't mean you shouldn't cover it. There's things that I cover on my show that I don't necessarily agree with, but I still cover it because I want to see all sides of the story. But the mainstream media does not. They do not want to hear it. They do not want to have the patience for it. They don't care at all. No, they're just going to blatantly ban you. That's exactly why they're so mad at Elon Musk for taking over Twitter, because they can't just ban you anymore. They have to listen to you and then explain why they don't want to have your opinion on the platform. That's exactly why they don't like Elon Musk taking it over. Now, moving on to the next MSNBC article, we have why climate art protests are so powerful. Oh, and the headline on this article, before you click on it, or the thumbnail on it, is why we should listen to climate activists instead of just ignoring them. No, we should ignore them because these people are stupid. These people are going to a museum to protest the climate. Why? Why are we going to go to the museum of people that are, most of the time, these are dead people that we're going to see their artwork, and now you're going to go and ruin their painting, Van Gogh's painting, with potatoes, just because you don't agree with the climate that we are suffering with right now, according to the left? No. If you want to change something, then you need to go exactly where these people are. You need to go exactly where these people are going to hear you. If you need to go to the White House, you have the right to protest. Don't protest on a Van Gogh painting. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So this is according to MSNBC. An angry scream, a painted moan, an astonished, oh my gosh. Those were the first 3 reactions that can be heard by the 2 British climate activists threw tomato soup on Van Gogh's sunflower paintings at National Gallery in London in a video that went ultra viral earlier this month. The emotional register of those reactions, rage, sadness, shock, were a preview of what was to come. They foreshadowed the most common responses countless people on social media had to the action, during which one activist queried, what is the worth anymore? Art or life? See, the thing is, why are we going to pay attention to these people that are literally, I can't even explain the stupidity that these people are on. So, art or life? Listen, you can't just say that we can say that about anything. Well, do you want technology, or do you want these people in China to be committing suicide? Let me ruin your phone now. Like, well, yes, we have a problem. Let's fix the problem. We're not going to sit here and break my phone because of it. We're not going to break my MacBook in front of me. No, we're not going to sit here and destroy my house because of the person that had it before me may have had something that we don't agree with today. That doesn't make any sense. We need to pay attention to the future, and we need to say, okay, if there's something that you don't necessarily like, then we need to change it and we need to research it. We can't just come up with something through our rear end and say, oh, we have the best opinion about this situation. No, you don't have the best opinion about this situation. You know why? Because we've been doing this for so long. You need to explain why we should change. We're not going to explain why we're going to continue to do the thing that we were doing since the very beginning. You're the one that wants to change it. You're the one that should be answering our questions. Like, what? And then you countlessly say, we're not teachers. Well, you're making a big situation about it. Like, if you're making a big situation about, I just don't get it. It's like, you're making a big situation about something. How about you go and prove your point? If you want to prove your point, prove your point. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Now let's go right here. This is something that we covered last week, I think. Oh, okay. So this one right here is what we're going to be covering. So next we have an NPR article, which I hate NPR, by the way, but we're going to cover them anyway. So we have campaign signs influence how we vote more than you might realize. So according to NPR, we have, with election season in full swing, seemingly every neighborhood and busy intersection is sprouting dozens of multicolored signs touting candidates for offices ranging from Register of Wills to the United States Senate. Often these signs proclaim a candidate's name, but not much else. You might have wondered how effective these can be used as a campaign tool, especially in the age of radio, television, and social media. And they are even a smart place to put campaign resources, particularly in local races, where funds are tight. It turns out political scientists have tried to answer these questions. A 2015 study led by Donald Green, a political science professor at Columbia University, found that the political signs can in fact make a difference, somewhere between 1 to 2 percentage points on average, Green says. Hardly earth-shattering, but not nothing either. In races, they are especially close. They might just be the deciding factor. The Ben Griffin experiment. So, what's primarily at stake when it comes to signs and name recognition, especially for many local races that don't generate a lot of attention, according to Sydney Cam, a professor at Vanderbilt University who leads the research on individuals, politics, and social lab. Cam co-authored a study in 2011 in which yard signs for fake county council candidate Ben Griffin were painted on laws on well-trafficked street near a school. A survey was mailed out a few days later by school's parent-teacher association, asking respondents to list their choices for counties at large council seats. 5 real candidates were listed along with the fake Ben Griffin and another made-up name. Incredibly, nearly a quarter of respondents listed the fake Ben Griffin among their top 3 picks. Cam concludes that in races where little information is available, having some sense of name recognition, having seen multiple signs that convey a sense of viability and electability can be usable. But Matt Compson, a senior vice president at Blue State, which helps to support progressive causes in campaigns, says his experience is that political signage can make a difference in a higher profile races as well. Case in point, the 2008 presidential primaries, in which both Republicans and Democrats had roughly 10 candidates, each vowing for their party's nomination. It was pretty crowded, says Compson, who was previously worked in the White House office of digital strategy under then President Barack Obama. So just finding a way to stand out and be recognizable in a really crowded marketplace like that is an effective use of campaign time and dollars. The simpler the message, the better. Keeping things simple seems to be key in increasing name recognition, and there's evidence that cluttered messages can do more harm than good. Brandon Lanier, who studies political communication and campaigns at High Point University and worked with Green on the 2015 study, says that they found signs without partisan cues actually got the message across better than ones that are identified candidates' party affiliation. It seems like just putting your name out there and what you're running for is way more effective than actually trying to make a plea for being progressive or a conservative or a Republican or a Democrat, he says. More generally, the simplicity is something Christopher Nicholas, a veteran Republican political consultant, says he tries to impress on clients. The mistake people make is they want to cram it with too much information. I remind them that people are driving by these signs, not walking by these signs, Nicholas says. Party affiliation, however, can be transmitted in more suitable ways, says Kenneth Wars Jr., president of the 3 Creative Communications, which works with Democratic and progressive candidates. Voters, he says, began to familiarize the blue and red party colors that have been popular identifiers in recent years. If a Republican is running in a Democratic city, I guarantee you that Republican is going to have a little more blue in their sign, he says. Signs can be also, okay, so here's the thing. They just keep getting in and in and in. And I think that NPR actually did a really good job in this aspect, but also asking these Vanderbilt people, they're obviously one-sided. Like, Vanderbilt is very, very one-sided. So I do not agree with anything that Vanderbilt says because of the fact that they have been caught trying to transgendify kids. So there goes all credibility right there. I do not appreciate you doing that, Vanderbilt. You should stop that, and you already did stop that, but you should not have did it from the very beginning. But other than that, I really did enjoy this NPR article, and I do appreciate them for, actually journalisming, like doing their job. And, I'm not going to say thank you to NPR, but I'm also going to say keep doing that. Like, do actual journalism. NPR usually is just a motive for leftists to get their ideas across. But in this article that NPR did, I do kind of agree with that. So moving into the next article, we have Fox News. So Twitter fact checks Biden claim on corporations making billions. So over here we have President Biden on Friday was fact checked by Twitter for inflating the number of corporations that were making billions. In a tweet proposing to give his followers the quote facts, the president asserted that 55 corporations made $40 billion in 2020 and paid $0 in federal taxes. So he says, this is his quote, and I quote, this is President Biden. Let me give you the facts. In 2020, 55 corporations made $40 billion and they paid $0 in federal taxes. My Inflation Reduction Act puts an end to this. So the tweet included context added by readers noting that Biden's Inflation Reduction Act imposed a minimum tax on corporations with average pre-tax earnings greater than $1 billion. So, it noted that out of the 55 corporations mentioned by President Biden, only 14 had earnings greater than $1 billion and would be eligible under Biden's tax law. So, President Biden signed into the Inflation Act in August 2022. The law, a trimmed down version of the president's $1.75 trillion Build Back Better plan, was signed amid historically high levels of inflation. Of course, they're going to put that in there. The bill also granted an $80 billion boost to the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, over a 10-year period. So, of course, they're going to give the IRS $80 billion more dollars, and they're going to hire 87,000 new agents. So, if you did see this on Twitter, 87,000 new agents, if you post that on Instagram, you get fact check. That's the facts right there. I don't know what else you want us to say here. That is the facts. So it's like, yeah, they're hiring 87,000 new employees. Like they say, oh no, that's not happening. Maybe it is happening, but it's good. Oh, and it is happening, and it's great that it's happening. These are the steps that the leftists take anytime that something gets revealed, or they just blatantly lie and say that it's Russian propaganda altogether. That's how you know you're winning. Oh, that's propaganda from the Russians. Yeah, because the Russians have nothing better to do than propagate in the United States. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Moving into the next article, we have a Fox News article. Somalia bombings, at least 100 killed in a terrorist attack by Al-Shabaab. The United States military has been targeting Al-Shabaab in coordination with Somalian government. So, at least 100 people were killed and 300 people were wounded by 2 car bombs in Somalia's capital on Saturday. Somalian President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed said Al-Shabaab, I'm really slaughtering all these names because I really can't pronounce these, which the Pentagon describes as the most kinetically active Al-Qaeda network in the world, claimed responsibility for the attacks, which targeted the country's education ministry. So these are the pictures right here we are seeing, and it's very, very detrimental. So President Mohammed took office in May and recently declared total war on Al-Shabaab, saying Saturday that the death toll could rise. Our people were masqueraded, injured, included mothers with their children in their arms, fathers who had medical conditions, students who sent to study, businessmen who were struggling with their lives and their families, he said. It's the deadliest attack to Mogadishu since 2017, when a truck bomb at the same location killed over 500 people. And that's the image from that. This is the image from that. It's just crazy. Looking at the pictures of this, seeing all of the rubble just on the floor. It's just insanely sad. And whoever has the heart for this, I just don't know how you can have the heart for this. I just don't get it. Now, moving on to an article from the Daily Wire, we have Hillary Clinton blames Republicans for Paul Pelosi attack. Elon Musk has other ideas. So this is exactly what Elon Musk said. So former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton jumped to the bandwagon on Saturday, joining a number of liberal pundits and elected Democrats who blamed Joe Biden and on Saturday, joining a number of liberal pundits and elected Democrats who blamed the Republican Party for an alleged violent attack on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul. Clinton echoed the sentiments, if not the words, of people like Joe Biden and MSNBC anchor Angela Mitchell, who suggested that the rhetoric and politically charged anger that had spawned the January 6th riot on Capitol Hill had spawned to the Pelosi San Francisco home. The Republican Party and its mouthpiece now regularly spread hate and deranged conspiracy theories. Clinton tweeted, "It is shocking but not surprising that the violence is the result. As citizens, we must hold them accountable for their words and actions that follow. But can we hold you accountable?" This is what Hillary Clinton says. But can we hold you accountable for what you did? Why did you wipe the server that you had? Why did you do all these shady dealings in other countries? Can you answer this question? No. It's just sad that they're saying that this person attacked Paul Pelosi. But why are you going to sit here and say and act like you're just spotless on your criminal record? No, you killed our military soldiers that were in other countries because you wanted to be on your personal email server. You're stupid. Clinton shared an article from the Los Angeles Times that identified the alleged attacker, David D. Pape, who was arrested and charged with attack/homicide, among other things. As someone who spread QAnon and other far-right bigoted conspiracy theories, SpaceX and Tesla CEO Elon Musk fired back in a since-deleted tweet with an alternative theory, sharing in an article from the Santa Monica Observer that makes a series of claims, not the least dangerous of being that Pelosi had brought D. Poppy home with him from a local gay bar. There is a tiny possibility that there might have been more to the story than meets the eye, Musk tweeted. The report published by the Observer appears to be false, however, which may be what ultimately led to Musk deleting the tweet. Washington Post reporter Isaac Stanley Becker tweeted, "Incorrect and already redacted reporting by Fox News affiliate in SF and a fake story on the Santa Monica Observer has powered viral misinformation about the Paul Pelosi attack, amplified by a ton of people with huge platforms, including Chief Twit." So here's the thing now. If you're going to sit here and blame us for believing these conspiracy theories that, are not true, but how do we know they're not true? We can't trust the mainstream narrative. We can't trust the mainstream media. So where are we supposed to get our facts if we can't trust you? We're going to go and research our own facts. Like, it's just common sense. If we can't trust you, we're going to look at other sources for that information. And if we don't know who to trust at this point, we're just trusting anybody. So it's sad to see these people go down this rabbit hole, especially Elon Musk. But it's still the thing of, I don't believe everything that I see. I don't. But the thing is that we also can't sit here and believe all of the mainstream media. We can't. So we need to look at alternative news to get our reliable sources. And I think that doing double or triple or 4 times checks before you actually post it, yes, it might be a little time consuming, but that ultimately will save you over time. But moving on to the next article from the Daily Wire, we have "The establishment is not what the people want. Republican Senate candidates slam establishment politicians and praise grassroots support." So Republican Senate candidates Don Bullock of New Hampshire and Kelly Shabaka of Alaska went after establishment politicians on both sides of the aisle on Sunday, appearing on Fox News' Sunday morning feature, with host Mariah Barantro, no, I can't pronounce any of these names, Bolduc and Shabika. We were also asked about the schnubs from Senate Leader Fund, a political action committee aligned with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. So Tashapaka is the Trump-endorsed candidate for Senate, campaigning against Republican Senator Lisa Manzuki. See, these people have names I can't even pronounce. Who had held the seat since 2002. The Democrat Patricia Crespo is in our race. It's the power players of DC versus the people of Alaska, Nebraska told Bartruno, adding, "I think you're hearing that from the general public too. This might be the race across all of America. GOP Senator Lisa is often the tie-breaking vote that just helps the establishment. Alaska's new ranked choice voting allows for multiple candidates from the same party in a general election." But here's the thing. I don't agree with Alaska's new rules and regulations when it comes to ranked choice voting. So you're going to have multiple candidates from the same party in a general election. But all of these people are going to get less votes because of this. We should have one Democrat and one Republican. So all the Republican votes can go towards one person and all of the Democrat votes can go towards that other person. We're not going to sit here and divide all of the people by 4s. We're going to divide them half and half. That's how it always has been. So I don't know why these people are going and changing the system. We shouldn't change it. In New Hampshire, a retired Army Brigadier General is running against incumbent Democrat Senator Maggie Helson. I want to get your take on the money part of this, because we know that Mitch McConnell is holding the purse strings, deciding which candidate he wants to back. Has this hurt your campaign? Barchino asked Boldnick. Those decisions are made outside my purview and outside of my influence. And I would say no, it is not, because what happened is this is a grassroots campaign. We had record-breaking days in terms of fundraising. Bolduc replied, "People want to change, and it's indicative of the fact that the establishment is not what the people want. Whether it's Republican or Democrat, it does not matter." Last week, CBS News reported that Senate Leadership Fund pulled $5.6 million in television advertisement allocated to Bolduc and in the final stretch of the campaign. Prior to that, the PAC spent a considerably amount on the race. National Republican Senatorial Committee announced $1 million ad buy for financed with the campaign, a reversal of the previous decision to cancel spending in the Granite State, according to Axios. So here's the thing with this. You should have the higher up support for your campaign because of the fact that you don't have to raise as much money. And if these higher ups in your right or left or Republican or Democrat, if these people want to push their narrative on the local level, then they have to stay here and they have to fund you. Like Trump has to fund these people that need help. Like you can't just do the endorsement and say, okay, bye. No, you need to give the money where your mouth is. If you got funding from the people itself, like the Save America, if you got money from that, you should donate some of that money that you got from people to help the cause. Ron DeSantis is doing this in Florida. He's actively giving out some of his money to other candidates in the local level so he can have more Republicans to run with him. So that's exactly how it should be. Now moving on to the next AP article, we have Russia recruiting United States trained Afghan commandos, that say. So Afghanistan Special Forces soldiers who fought alongside American troops and then fled to Iran after the chaotic United States withdrawal last year is now being recruited by the Russian military to fight in Ukraine. 3 former Afghanistan generals told the Associated Press. They said that the Russians want to attract thousands of former elite Afghanistan commandos into a foreign legion, with offers of steady $1,500 a month payment and promises of safe havens for themselves and their families so they can avoid deportation home to what may assume would be death at the hands of the Taliban. They don't want to fight, but they have no choice, said one of the generals. Abaldal Rolf Afghanawal, adding that the dozen or so commandos in Iran with whom he had texted feared deportation the most. They asked me, give me a solution. What should we do? If we go back to Afghanistan, the Taliban will kill us. Afghanistan Real said Arganwil said that the recruiting is led by the Russian Ministry Force, Ragnar Group. Another general, I can't pronounce any of these names. Another general, the last that the Afghanistan army chief, before the Taliban took over, said that the effort is also being helped by former Afghan Special Forces commander who lived in Russia and speaks the language. The Russian recruitment follows months of warnings from United States soldiers who fought with Afghanistan Special Forces that the Taliban was intent on killing them and that they might join the United States enemies and stay alive or out of danger with their former ally. So here's the thing with this. Yes, if you go to another country for asylum, you should get that asylum. But also at the same exact time, you're the one coming into that country. So if they have a war, you need to fight it. It's sad, but I can see both sides of the situation. Now moving on to the next article we have from the AP, we have Democrats and tech leaders spend big on independent in Utah. So Salt Lake City, tech leaders on the Democratic Party aligned groups are among those few funneling millions into Utah to support independent Evan McMullin to unseat Republican Senator Mike Lee, but Mike Lee's gonna win. The race has been inundated with outside spending, with super PACs unaffiliated with either the Lee or the McMullin campaigns, spending heavily on glossy mailers and attack ads on local affiliates on the major television networks in the lead up to the midterm elections. The sheer amount of money pouring into the races reflects how McMullin has turned out Utah from a political afterthought to a legitimate battleground. The outside spending supporting him also illustrates the traditional partisan dynamics at play in the independent versus Republican race and the emerging reality that some Democratic Party aligned groups and donors see McMullin as an anti-abortion conservative as one path forward, preventing Republicans from retaking the House Senate. McMullin and Lee's campaign have raised $6.9 million and $8.6 million respectively. Campaign finance filings published Friday that cover up to October 19th show. Those that, though they're spending heavily on their own campaign ads, consultants and staff, the candidates are receiving boosts from independent expenditure and committees that aren't allowed to coordinate with their campaigns. So they're getting millions of dollars from people that are not even supposed to be donating or coordinate with their campaigns. So like, it just doesn't make any sense at all. These people are breaking their own rules and regulations because of the fact that they're losing so hard. But at the same exact time, they're going to sit here and say that they're going to win in 2022 this year in November 8th. No, they're not going to win this year. By the time this comes out, I think that it's going to be November already. So we only have 7 days left to consider who we're going to be voting for when it comes up to November 8th. So let's get into the next segment, which is the drama of the week.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket.
Last week, Elon Musk took over Twitter and the left is losing it because he fired the top executives on the board for good reason. But the left is freaking out about this. According to CNN, we have this article right here. So Elon Musk has taken control of Twitter and fires its top executives. So, New York, Elon Musk has completed his $44 billion deal to buy Twitter. A source familiar with the deal told CNN Thursday, putting the world's richest man in charge of one of the world's most influential social media platforms. Musk fired CEO Parag Agrawal and 2 other executives, according to 2 people familiar with the decision. Twitter declined to comment. The deal's closing removes a cloud of uncertainty that has hung over Twitter's business, employees, and shareholders for much of the year. After initially agreeing to buy the company in April, Musk spent months attempting to get out of the deal, first citing concerns about the number of bots on the platform and later allegations raised by company whistleblowers. So I completely agree with this. But this whole entire article is outlining why this is upsetting that he fired these people. No, he fired these people because they don't deserve the jobs. You're banning the people that came to your platform to spread a message. It doesn't matter what the message is. It doesn't matter at all. But this is the thing. They don't want him to take over because he's on the other side of the aisle. And they're acting like they never saw somebody on one side of the aisle ever take over a social media platform before. This is really what we have been dealing with from at least the beginning of 2020. Even before that, I would tell them the same exact thing they have told us all of those times. If you don't like the people, if you don't like the people on the platform you're on, and you don't like the rules and regulations that the people in charge of that platform set forth, then you have to build your own. Oh my God, it's so easy, right? How about you do it then? That's a taste of your own medicine. How does it taste? I presume like fine wine. Now enjoy the hole you dug for yourself. Now let's dig into the next segment, which is the biggest investment news.
I just wanna be great, guys. I just wanna be great, guys. I just wanna be great, guys.
So digging into the investment segment, we actually have GameStop and AMC, and we have the street saying that the meme stock frenzy is back. So Reddit traders seem to be pushing these outdated business model companies again. So the meme stocks are back again, but the frenzy could be short-lived. The retail investors are obsessed with the meme stocks yet again, as trading for shares of Bed Bath & Beyond, AMC Entertainment, and GameStop are volatile and are ramping up. All of these stocks have risen during the past 5 days, with GameStop leading the rise in valuation. GameStop, which was beloved by retail traders, was trading at $28.78 on Monday, an increase by 13.75% during the past 5 days. The stock had tried to climb back to its closing price of $45.82 on October 15, 2021, with a decline of 37%. Bed Bath & Beyond shares are trading now at $4.67, which has risen 7.87% during the past 5 days. The stock is still trading much lower, a decline of 66%, which was trading at 13.99 cents. That's crazy. But see, here's the thing. I'm trying to see where. Okay. So I was gonna say why are they saying that Reddit is responsible for this? Where is the Redditors? But here they are right here. So this Redditor is actually claiming that the stock actually went 20% up on a random day in its high volume, and no one knows why. They said that if you get fear of missing out, into GameStop this morning, you deserved it. This other person said all the GameStop bag holders negative 50% on their shares today, pumping when it's plus 15%. LMAO, just create a new bag holders, creating momentum downwards. This is about Bed Bath & Beyond. Since the volume is higher today than the past couple weeks, I would mean that it takes it closer for Bed Bath & Beyond to complete the ATM share offering sooner rather than later. The amount of shares being traded for Bed Bath & Beyond was noticed by one trader who said impressive volume today, 10 million in 40 minutes versus average volume of 8 million over the last month. We've seen a huge increase since October 21st in terms of volume for some reason. GameStop traders, today was a good day, one person said, and they end by saying the market's rebounded. In general, the problem surrounding the meme stocks remains the same. How to reinvent their economic business so as not to disappear. For the moment, they are still struggling to convince that the decision is undertaken are the right ones. This could indicate that their return is to be attributed to the market rebound in October. The markets rebounded in October, even though MAGA cap tech stocks took a major hit, with 3 major indexes all up. The Dow 30 stock index is now on its pace to be the best month since 1976, and increased by 14.1% for the month. And the S&P 500 Nasdaq Composite have also risen by 8% and 4% respectively. Now this is actually written 5 hours ago, so that's relatively new. So hopefully they are not making it up. But you know who is making stuff up? CNN. We have CNN over here making up the fear/greed index. So what is this market grew by? Oh, fear. Oh my God. And greed. Okay. So they're saying that businesses are greedy right now. CNN has made up this graph showing that businesses are greedy for money. But this is not it. As a person that comes from a family that owns a restaurant, we did not put up our prices nearly 1/3 from the past 3 years because of greed. We did it so we can turn a little profit. That little profit that we get is what gets us through the day, and it is a slap in the face from CNN and from any other media company to tell us, the people, that businesses are the reason why we are paying more. No, it is not the reason. These big tech institutions are for propagating lies on the behalf of Democrats, and for doing their bidding is a disgrace. It's a total disgrace. Now, moving on to our next segment.
I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
So I did want to dig into our Paul Pelosi situation over here as our last segment before we close off for until Friday. So on October 28th, someone broke into Paul Pelosi's home looking for Nancy Pelosi, which is the House Speaker of the United States. This left Paul Pelosi really brutally attacked, but according to the New York Post, he is expected to make a full recovery. Pelosi's Republican opponent, John Dennis, tweeted that the attack on Paul Pelosi was an appalling act that deserves condemnation and contempt, which I agree with. But these are some things that are going to be going around. But there are a lot of different things going around, and saying that he knew the person that broke into his home. And this is according to the police on the scene. So if we take a look at that, we can actually hear it right here. Okay, so let's listen to it here.
2640 Broadway, cross of Scott and Normandy. I have a 14-hour copy. RP stated that there's a male in the home and that he's going to wait for his wife. RP stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David and that he is a friend. RP sounded somewhat confused. 12-hour back and copy.
Units code 3 to 2640 Broadway per 14-hour.
12-hour copy. 15-hour also code 3.
Everyone 12 licensed sufficient units on scene 2640 Broadway.
Okay, so here's the thing. Why would he say that he doesn't know who the person is? He's a stranger, but then he's a friend. Like, these are a little conflicting. Maybe you got hit on the head. Maybe you got hit on the head too hard. I don't know. But it doesn't matter if he knew him or not. Like, this still isn't right. Yes, I agree with. But this is the thing. If he knew the person, why are we going to sit here and say, oh my God, it was a scheme by the Republicans? No. If you knew the person, this person was probably out to just get you because of the fact that this person that you knew was going insane. That's why he went out to just get you. But this is the thing though. Why didn't you have security? There's a lot of questions. There's not enough answers. But I'm not saying that this situation didn't happen, but I'm saying that it's a little bit sketchy. But other than that, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for enjoying. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like down below and subscribe for weekly content or daily content in this case. If you did like this and you do want to see other content, comment down below any of the things that you want me to touch base on. I did see a little bit of comments telling me what I should cover next, and I am going to make a video all about those things. But other than that, thank you all for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Hey, were you really going to click off this video before leaving a like and subscribing down below? Wow, so rude.